Hey guys, it's Valerie with Vegan Travel Eats. In case you didn't know, my last name is Libuti, properly pronounced Libuti, so obviously Italian. It's my married name, but it still means that if I'm cooking Italian food, it better be freaking awesome. So I'm really excited to bring you guys my Tempeh Parmesan. We always used to eat my husband's grandmother's chicken parmesan. She always used to make it for us and leave us lots and lots of leftovers, which didn't last very long. So I wanted to create a kinder, healthier version of her chicken parm. So I decided that tempeh would be a really cool idea to replace the chicken. So obviously it doesn't taste exactly like chicken parmesan, but it is a really great option that you still get like the marinara sauce and the cheesiness from the vegan mozzarella cheese on top. This is one of those recipes where somehow all the planets align, and the first time I tried it, it actually came out really good. But traditionally with chicken parm, you take the chicken and you batter it and bread it, and you put it in like about an inch of oil in a pan and fry it on both sides. So I kind of thought maybe since we don't have to cook dead animal and kill all like the nasty stuff that we have to kill when we cook dead animal, maybe we could skip that part of frying and cut out that extra oil. So I went ahead and tested a few different options and ended up basically battering the tempeh and just broiling it with a spray of oil instead of all that extra oil you get like sopped up into those breadcrumbs when you're frying in a pan. So not only is this a kinder, healthier version, it's also insanely delicious. The tempeh strips end up nice and crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. The first batch my husband literally ate within 5 minutes of me making it. So I definitely consider that a win, considering he literally grew up eating Italian food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner his whole life. My personal favorite vegan cheese to use for the mozzarella would be to use Miyoko's mozzarella. It melts really well. Unfortunately, my Whole Foods was out of the Miyoko's when I went to buy the products for this recipe. I did use Follow Your Heart mozzarella and it was excellent, but the Miyoko's does melt a little better. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you like what you see. For this recipe, you're going to need 2 8-ounce packages of tempeh, 1 cup of Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, a half a cup of vegan grated Parmesan, 3 tablespoons of Follow Your Heart vegan egg mixed into 1 cup of ice cold water. Normally, the Follow Your Heart vegan egg calls for 2 tablespoons per half cup, but we're doing it a little bit less concentrated for this, just so it's easier to dip the tempeh in. You're also going to need spray oil, 1 25-ounce jar of marinara sauce. If you're having pasta with this, you're going to need 1.5 to 2 jars, or you can make your own from scratch, obviously, if you're feeling extra motivated. You'll also need 1 overflowing cup of vegan mozzarella, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and fresh basil chopped to garnish. I'm going to show you how to get the perfectly sized tempeh planks for this Parmesan recipe. First, you're going to cut it in half in the middle. Then you're going to cut each of those pieces in half down the middle. And then those pieces you're going to cut into thirds. So you'll end up with about 1/4 inch planks of tempeh. Arrange your oven rack to be about 3 inches or so from your heating element. Go ahead and turn your broiler on high. While the oven's heating up, we're going to go ahead and batter the tempeh planks. We've got our flour, our vegan egg mixture, and in the back bowl, we've got breadcrumbs and the grated Parmesan mixed together. So we're going to start by dredging each tempeh plank in flour, shaking off the excess, and then dunking it in the vegan egg mixture. It's super helpful not to use your fingers here, otherwise you kind of end up breading and battering your fingers at the same time. So go ahead and use a fork, and that's what I do. It just makes things a little easier and cleaner. Oh. Next, we're gonna throw it into the Parmesan and breadcrumb mixture and roll it around in there. Make sure it gets nice and coated. And transfer it into a baking dish. So in order to save on dishes, I just used the baking dish that I'm going to bake it in later, and then I just rinse it out in between. You can also put tinfoil down and lay the tempeh planks on top of them and throw the tinfoil out in between, but I try not to use foil when I don't have to. When you're done, spray all the slabs with the spray oil and then lay them sprayed side down onto a broiler safe pan. And once they're all laid out, spray the top with another spray of oil. Put them under the broiler in the oven for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, pull them out, flip them all over. Try to act as quickly as possible just so they don't cool off that much, but be careful because they might fall apart. Place them back in the oven and broil for another 5 minutes. While they're broiling, you can go ahead and warm up the marinara sauce in a big pot. You can use this pot again later to make your pasta. Warm it up over about medium heat. You don't want to do it like too high because you don't want it to burn. Stir it occasionally. After your 5 minutes are up, pull the tempeh planks out of the oven. Open your oven up and turn the temperature down to 425. You're probably going to need to leave your oven open for a few minutes so it cools down enough. Once the marinara sauce is warmed, pour it into your baking dish and dunk all of the battered and broiled tempeh planks into the marinara sauce. Flip them over, make sure they're nice and covered, and then sprinkle the vegan mozzarella on top. Once your oven is cooled down to 425, place the tempeh planks into the oven for 20 minutes. While that's baking, it's a great time to make your pasta. Boil some water in that same pan that you heated up the marinara sauce in. I would wipe it out, obviously, and make your pasta. After 20 minutes, pull your tempeh planks out and they should look nice and melted. If you need some help melting the cheese, you can turn the broiler on for, a minute or so. Not for too long because you don't want to burn everything, but leave it on for about a minute, help the cheese melt a bit, and you're all set to go. Grandma's Tempeh Parmesan. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.